darkness is engulfing me. I cannot escape the feeling that what is to happen has happened before. The dangling carrot of success is frustrating. Every movement is calculated. Everything is under control. Except me. How did this come to be? It all started with this, a little pulsating unit nestled deep in the vast space. The unit implanted itself instinctively, driven by pre-coded information. The mother unit enclosed it for protection against the elements. The journey began then. Starting as a couple of cells, I learned to develop, to change, and to grow. The heart learned to beat, the limbs to move, the mouth to suck. All this based on information which the cells had learned even as they formed, the information that we call instinct. Soon I opened my senses to the environment, the womb of my mother and the world I could hear outside. The learning was subtle and slow, but did not stop. I learned to recognize my mother's voice, her moods, the taste of the food she ate, the stress she underwent, until the day when I let the world know about my arrival. And then the bombardment of my five senses began. My brain worked overtime, making sense of the senses, connecting them, creating patterns, learning when to laugh and when to cry. I learned to segregate strangers, identify food, to walk, to run, to jump. I learned soon that it was more fun being with others. That meant more information and more connections. The leap into learning provided many lessons all the way from childhood to adulthood. I learned so that I could make sense of the world around me. I learned so that I could discover the people and how to interact with them. I learned because it was fun. And last but probably the very least, I learned to acquire knowledge. The school was not the world of learning for me at the time. The world was the school of learning. And then it stopped. The focus shifted from knowing to doing. There are needs satisfied, deadlines to be met, relationships to be maintained. I quickly narrowed the spotlight of what I should learn. I started to validate if the learning has relevance to my life, weigh the burden of time and money on learning. I was only rearranging information known to me, reconnecting and finding parts within the same jailed warehouse. And then it was that I found darkness engulfing me. The feeling that what is to happen has happened before. I feel like someone is playing a movie on a loop. Why am I walking like an automated robot, responding to programs rather than applying thought? Will I be able to come out of this uniformity of darkness? And it was this nudge of darkness that opened up the dawn for me. The darkness flashed a brilliant outline of what I had left out on the path of my life. Learning, and more learning, lifelong. For me, learning has brought me again to the shores of new adventures, launching on quests with no destination. Sometimes proactive, and then sometimes just letting the time and space around me teach me all it can, facing the elements again and letting them teach me. As a lifelong learner, learning is a motivation and a destination. The end point of the learning or the weightage of it on my life does not bother me anymore. I wake up every morning to the excitement of new food for thought and new tastes for my mind. If you already share my passion, I would love to hear from you. If you're intrigued, don't wait to explore. If you want to give it a pass now, remember, you can start anytime, anywhere. using any medium in the world of lifelong learning.